Hey, Radiant Souls, welcome back. I am so happy that you're here. Have you ever felt a little bit disconnected from yourself, from your natural abilities, from your natural creativity? I have 12 steps to return you to you, and I'd love to share those with you today. I am doing a little bit of multitasking with that because I am republishing or having a second publication of my children's book, Emmerly Finds Her Light. We're changing a little bit of the cover, but I want to, through the lens of that story, remind you how to find yourself again. Because when we aren't inhabiting what I call our home frequency, then we can't really access our abilities. We can't connect with our guides. We can't connect with our higher self. We can't connect with our creativity. And I know so many of you are creators out there who every so often we hit the wall, we find a block, we think, I can't share me anymore. It's because you're not inhabiting who you really are. So I want to help return that to you because, my friends, the world needs your story. The world needs your art. The world needs you. So let me share a little bit of my story through this children's book. And I want to say up front, these illustrations are not by me. They are by a wonderful, talented artist whose name I'll put on the screen here. But the story is mine, and it is loosely connected to different parts of my own story as well. So in this book, the little girl named Emmerly feels like she's not herself, and she can't really pinpoint why. And that's why I think it relates to so many of us. So yeah, it's a children's book, but it's a story for kids of all ages, because we all have those days where we wake up and we're like, I don't know. I don't know why I don't feel like myself, but I know that something is off. And so what do we do to reclaim that, to reclaim our power, our passion, our energy, all the things? And there are 12 steps to do it, to find your divine radiant light, your authenticity. And the first is to tune out to tune in. So in the story, Emmerly gets these little tidbits of guidance from different animals at the zoo, which is something from my childhood. I used to love to go to the zoo. We went very, very often. And I was at the time talking to or animal communicating with those animals. I didn't know that that wasn't something everybody did. So anyway, that's a little piece of me in this story. But when we tune out to tune in, we push away those limiting beliefs, those labels that we've put on ourselves or others have put on us, so that we can tune fully into us. If we're listening to the noise of everything, it can also be tuning out things that are going on in the world, other people's opinions, just the general hum that doesn't agree or resonate with us, tuning some of that out to tune into ourselves. The second step in reclaiming you, finding your authentic self, is to love what you lack. And that is counterintuitive, because sometimes we get stuck in our traumas, our triggers, telling our stories from the perspective of, well, I didn't have this kind of training, so therefore I cannot. Or I come from this background, and so therefore I cannot. But when we look at that lack and see it as, well, even if I have different circumstances that somebody over here, if we're aiming for the same thing together, I'm going to have a unique perspective because of what I lack, because that's a beautiful piece of my story too. So really honoring that within yourselves. The third step is to embrace your pace. We also get so dialed in and caught up in comparison, especially when it comes to our creativity or in working with our intuition, connecting with our guides, our higher selves, things like that. Well, she does it that way, he does it over there, and it looks a certain way, and I should do it the same way. But your own pace is yours. It's beautiful. Your abilities are your own. So embracing your own pace means not comparing to other people and just walking your own path courageously and confidently. The next step is to choose your view. We have so many opportunities in this world, in the day, in the course of an hour, to see things through a negative perspective, see things from the perspective of our hurt or our loss or our lack. But actively choosing to come from, it doesn't mean you have to have toxic positivity, but actively choosing to come from the perspective of what empowers me now, what is going to help me best move through this situation and be myself, represent myself authentically, use my own voice in my creativity, use my own energy, my own frequency to connect into my intuition. How do I choose that view rather than being kind of tossed around in the tumble dryer of everybody else's opinions and what's going on in the world? The next step is to live your luck. Live as if the good things already happened. And it's not just like, la, 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 I'm not listening to anything. It's the energy. How do you calibrate your energy to that version of you that's already experienced the success, that's already experienced the relationship, that's already published the book, whatever it is for you? How would you stand in your body? How would you breathe? How would you walk through your day as that person? Live your luck. Live as if it's already happened. And you start to tune your energy to that eventuality rather than having it just feel like it lives in your imagination and nowhere else. The next step is to bet on yourself and don't look back. That's just a cute way to say have confidence in you. Again, we live in a world that, boy, can it tear you down? Can it make you think you're not good enough? Can it make you think you don't have the right skill set, the right experience? You're too late to something. I promise you, none of those are true. Develop your abilities in the way that you want to. Access and express your creativity in the way that you want to, but also take aligned action on those things for yourself. And that's betting on yourself and not looking back. Put your money and your cards down on you and go for it, taking those aligned actions with confidence to bet on yourself. The next two steps take a little bit of a turn. So the next one is the odds are stacked against you. Know that. Sometimes just having that in mind, rather than seeing that as obstacles, rather than seeing it as roadblocks, think of the things that are out there. There's always going to be something in life. It's not smooth sailing. I connect in with my higher self and everything is perfect and beautiful. Or I finally find my creative voice and everything is perfect and beautiful. There's still going to be stuff that you need to go through. Sometimes we forget. We think we're going to get the job, the relationship, the opportunity, whatever. And then it's like, I'm good. Remembering that the odds are stacked against you, just knowing there's going to be other times that you may need to pivot, adjust, and you're good. You've got it. You have the resilience. You have the flexibility to do it. And like this illustration is showing, instead of seeing it as obstacles, seeing it as stepping stones, steps, stairs that get you closer to your goals. And then expecting more, or as the original version of this book, Hey Radiant Souls, A Guide to Finding and Shining Your Light. It's not a title that rolls off the tongue, but the original message channeled from my guides for this was expect s'more. Meaning the s'mores that you make over a campfire with the marshmallow and chocolate and graham cracker. But the guidance that came behind that cutesy little saying was to know that the way you're telling your story impacts your energy. The way that you're choosing to see those obstacles that, the odds are stacked against you, we're surmounting them, or we're going above and beyond. We're using them as stepping stones. Telling your story to yourself in a way that empowers you is important. So they had this image of sitting around a campfire and telling, we have so many stories that are like ghost stories for us. They're things that scare us, or, oh, this bad thing happened to me. And just seeing those as silly fables that you've told yourself, it doesn't mean they define you. You can let them go at any time. The next step is wish or weed or wish. Do you see your obstacles as opportunities? And just flipping the script on that for yourself, rather than saying, here's something that's going to pull me down, that's going to be a weed that I need to cleanse myself of. Maybe it's an opportunity. And the guidance, or the original channeled message for this, had the image of a dandelion, where for somebody it might be a weed in a garden. For somebody else, you see the bloom or the flower of the dandelion and you blow on it, and it's got those beautiful little tufts that go out and can be representing people's wishes, like that. After that comes fill your own cup. Such an important step when we're looking to be using our own intuition, when we're looking to express our own creativity. We often want to give. We want to show up and serve, and that's beautiful. But as the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. So what can you do to fill your own cup, and not in a selfish way, the way society would have us define selfish. But what can you do to honor yourself, to honor your own energy? Is it having cleaner, better, healthier boundaries for yourself? Is it organizing your day in a certain way that supports your energy so that you can give, so that you can show up and serve? Filling your own cup first is an important part of reconnecting to, honoring, and supporting your authentic self. The next step is to rise up and shine. Allowing you to express yourself authentically, to honor your intuition, to be who you truly are, enables other people to do the same. So it has this energy of like rallying other people. When you fully inhabit yourself and you're showing up authentically, I promise you, whether they tell you that or not, you're inspiring someone else to do the same. So rise up and shine. And then the last step of the 12 steps to reconnecting to you, to honoring yourself, to living authentically, to finding your divine radiant light is to stand out. You weren't made to fit in. We're often persuaded that we should go with a certain group. We should be part of a certain crowd. Everything should fit a certain mold. And what a joy when we can realize that that's not necessarily true. When we can be fully ourselves, and that uniqueness, that quirkiness, that difference is supported and celebrated by the others who are also showing up and being quirky and different and unique. Allow yourself to shine and don't try to fit in like you're part of a puzzle. You're meant to stand out in who you are authentically. So thank you for humoring me with this. And I meant to say at the beginning, these were channeled messages, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago now, that came to me from my team. I put them into an original book, Hey Radiant Souls, but then I wanted to make them a children's book as well because I love children's book. Another piece of my stories that I used to go and read to kids when I was in my teens and early 20s. And so I always wanted to be an author of a children's book. But I think it's so important not just to empower ourselves as adults, but to share this with kids. So if you have kids, grandkids, great-grands, and would like to get them a copy of this book and this story, I'll put a link in the description box below. They mail out from me directly, so that would be kind of fun, and it would be such an honor to have you connect in that way. So thanks for listening. Go out, follow these 12 steps, be who you truly are, because like I said, the world needs you, your story, your art, your creativity, your intuition, your expression. It's so very needed at this time. Thanks for spending some time with me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.